I've been thinking about tipping, right? Like, you know how when you tip people,
Cow tipping?
No, not. Yeah, I wish. He is from Georgia.
I'm on this fact. I'm on your wave right now, Fitted. I feel what you're talking about. It's very important.
No, but it's interesting, right? Because like certain professions, certain tasks that are executed or jobs that are executed, it's mandatory to tip, right? It's part of our culture. You tip cab driver, automatic. You tip a waiter,
restaurant,
automatic.
gratuity,
Yeah, you tip all of these things, and what I'm confused about is what
the hooker.
I don't know about that. What I'm confused about is what are the rules to tipping, right? Because I'll direct a music video for someone, no one's gonna tip me for a job well done.
Facts.
So it's so weird that certain professions have tips just culturally embedded into the process, into the payment. It's just part of it, right? And then I started thinking deeper on it, and I was like, yo, when you tip, essentially what you're saying is, I'm tipping you for a job well done.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But certain professions like being a waiter, it's mandatory to tip job well. I mean, you can choose to tip less if it was a poor waiter.
But you feel it's mandatory. You
feel like it's mandatory, right? So then I'm like, all right, their job is to serve you. Their job is to bring you your stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Now, if you were a really simple patron of that restaurant, if you were a simple person, you're just like, hey man, just give me an appetizer. You didn't bother him. He brought you some water, brought your appetizer. He barely did anything. Took 2 trips back and forth. He didn't do shit. Yet you got to tip him that amount, right? So if you're a good customer, you're not making this guy work hard, right? You're following me?
I'm just saying, I'm not agreeing with you though.
But if you are a good customer, you're not making the waiter go hard. Now, if you're a shitty customer, you're gonna be like, yo, give me this. Waiter, come back. I need the table. Bring us around. Like,
you're shitty for spending more money. Yeah, you're a great customer.
But you're an annoying. But what if you're one of those people that's like, take this back. This is cold. Or
that's their fault, not my fault.
That ain't my fault.
What if you're just an unreasonable customer and it's fine? You're just being picky.
But what's unreasonable then?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying there are certain people that you're like, oh my god.
Because I got a great story for this one. You know where I'm going, right?
Dude. Real quick. If you're a customer who's just excessive in your demands, you know those people. You might not be those people, but they exist, man.
They do.
It's crazy you said that because now I'm trying to think of something someone can do and be a bad customer.
There's a draft. Can you move us to that table?
Yeah.
All of these fucking annoyances,
it's
right?
It's cold over here and there.
Yo, it was this one guy.
Wait, but real quick. But then, if not to be culturally insensitive, but this is the stereotype associated with like certain like Jewish.
Don't explain yourself. Just be racist.
Certain Jewish cultures are like that, right? And they're also stereotypically known as being bad tippers, but yet they're the hardest.
They are.
They're the richest people in the world.
Well, they are. Good for them.
Jerry Seinfeld ain't tipping.
Yo, listen, they are.
But they're bad customers. Like
terrible customers.
They're excessive as customers, and then they tip the least.
Yeah,
so
terrible.
I'm just saying
that's a Jew.
Moral.
Is this kosher?
Yeah. A Jew is the worst customer
and by the way, this is a stereotype. It's maybe insensitive to some people. It is a stereotype.
It's the truth.
But it's a stereotype.
You know why I'm gonna tell you?
You know what Dan's trying to do? He's like, everyone, I'm not racist.
But I'm not.
So he's like, it is like, no, it's not.
It's not a stereotype. I'm gonna tell you why. Because
calling something a stereotype is just a fact. It's not like I'm trying.
I don't know.
I'm not trying to soften it. It just is a stereotype.
This is why I'm saying it's not a stereotype, because I work for a Jew when I work for New York 10 or whatever. Yeah. Now we did big like event tents for weddings. We put walls up. We basically build you a fucking house. We built actual wooden walls on this fucking tent, bro. It's a fucking tent. It's a vinyl tent. Why do we need wooden walls? Oh, no, you don't like the floor because the color. Oh, it doesn't match the one left to it. Well, none of them match, you fucking dickhead.
So they should have gave you a tip, definitely.
Pussy nigga ain't give a shit.
Yeah, that's
bro.
crazy.
And this was like a 2-week job, bro.
You know what's hilarious? That
pussy nigga ain't give a
Spilly
shit.
Looks like he could be a black Jew.
Yeah.
Just look at him.
If you curl these,
fuck the curls.
I'm he Jew.
Yeah,
he's he Jew.
All right, so
Haitian and Jewish.
Moral or punchline to my whole thing about the tipping at restaurants is I'm going to start tipping the least amount without people looking at me sideways because I'm a good customer.
Okay.
And I'm not treating you like shit. I'm not making you do anything outside of your 9-to-5 demands.
Bro, you have to understand this, bro.
I'm kidding.
Them walking to the kitchen and getting a plate. It's hot. They got to walk there. They got to walk back. They got to keep checking on you if they're not walking over there to making sure.
Oh, yeah. You know what's annoying, too? You know what's annoying?
You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
It's
give
still
them
working,
something,
bro.
especially if they did something.
You
But
know
if
what's
they
annoying?
just a terrible ass fucking, if your cook back there fucking up, that fucks up your tip. So you need to get on your fucking cook.
And then then the cook got to get on the grease, the dry,
Because you're the
fucking
voice
fryer.
of the people. Think about it.
Then
You're the
fryer
voice of the
gotta get
people.
on.
As a waiter, you're the voice of the people.
I'm standing up against this culture of tipping. I'm upset by it. I think it's hard as fuck to write treatments for rappers who take 6 weeks to look at the treatment you wrote for them. They never read
Fax
it. Then they
machine.
show up on set and they don't know what they're supposed to be doing. Like, I should get tipped for my fucking efforts too.
Yeah,
if
I
that's
agree
the
with
case.
you. I agree
Either
with
we
you.
all get tipped or none of us get tipped.
Get tipped. I'm
That's
with
my
that.
platform for
I'm with
2020.
that.
How
I'm
about
with
that?
I'm with that. Yo, on real shit.
actually,
you know who gets it the worst, really? Our fathers, cab drivers.
I know. I was gonna
and
say
taxi
that.
drivers, bro. Taxi drivers and cab drivers get it the worst, bro. You'll be in a cab with a nigga for a whole 45 minutes, bro.
Talking to him.
Giving you the greatest conversation of your life. Yeah. You know, actually, when I was 12, like, great conversations, bro. And then
You're giving them the good conversation?
no, the cab drivers giving you the greatest conversation, great music. Oh, this came out in 1973.
You know, there's a whole group of people that feel the exact opposite of that. They're
all right.
fucking
Well, listen,
annoyed by that.
motherfucker. I'm telling you.
Yeah, don't talk to me.
You know, on Uber, you can
No,
choose
bro.
now, right?
Yeah. Listen to what I'm saying, though.
You can be
What's
like,
a-
I want a silent cab driver.
Yeah, I
You
don't
can
want a
put
nigga that.
Like, he can't talk to me.
Yo, but listen, it's
Which is mad
as far as
dehumanizing.
New
Yeah,
York.
that's crazy though.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
As far
don't
as
talk
New
to
York
me.
City goes, though,
I can't even say, hey, how you doing?
That's the New York City experience. When you're sitting in a taxi and he's
Yeah,
telling you
he's
about
giving
New
you-
York
yeah,
City
yeah.
and giving you, that's people love
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
Niggas will get out the car after having the greatest conversation. Hey, take my phone number, man. We should our kids should get together and still not give you a tip.
I know.
Dead ass walk out the car.
The best is when you're like, hey, or you're a tourist and you come to the city and then you exchange numbers and you're like, hey, so you think you can pick me up tomorrow and give me rides around to, like, I gotta go to the airport?
Yeah.
And then they do this whole exchange, this barter thing where you become my chauffeur the whole
Yeah.
time I'm in
Yeah.
town.
And then you don't give the
'Cause
nigga
I
a
like
tip,
you
and
so
he
much.
decides, no, I'm not answering your phone tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yo, but look, my pop said the best. He's like, working this fucking Uber, right? So I'm fucking having a great conversation with the guy. You know, it's great stuff. The guy doesn't give me a fucking tip. He gives me 5 stars. I say, oh, thanks for stars. What the fuck I'm gonna do with stars? When I go to my fucking, I go to my landlord and say, hey, yeah, I gotta pay you in stars. I got some stars for you there. I go to the deli. Hey, give me a sandwich. Here's 6 stars. Hey, you think what the fuck stars gonna do for me? And I'm like, yo, I feel you, pops. Like, you right about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas will give you 5 stars and make it feel like it's
Yo.
money. It's like, that
Because
shit
it's
is not-
simple. It's
My
not coming out my pocket.
Really don't know. My
just can't do
pops drove a yellow cab his whole life.
My dad drove cab.
So, but
Yo, that's our connection. The cab kids. Yo, we're the cab kids. Yo, we gotta add this to the
Yo,
pound.
that's a fact.
Honk, honk. That's our shit. Honk, honk. Cab kids, nigga.
Yo, but peep this. He would get when Uber first of all, Uber fucked
That's
him.
the foreigner
Uber
way.
fucked my pops the worst, dude. Because peep
Facts.
this. My pops owned his. Listen to this story. This is fucking crazy. He owned his medallion, right? Because he bought his medallion in the 80s.
You know about that, right?
His cab medallion. So
medallions
he's
be worth like
a
2
small
M's and all
business
that.
owner. He's a business owner, right? He owns his medallion, and he bought it in the 80s for like 50 grand.
Yeah.
And before Uber became a thing, it was up to like $1 million.
Yeah,
And this
medallions,
is about
facts.
a couple years before my dad was gonna retire. So he's just, I'm gonna sell it when I retire, and then I go to fucking wherever. I go to fucking
Yeah.
Malta, and I live by the water. Like, he didn't give
Yeah.
a shit, right? And then he finally retired. Uber's already booming at that point. He tries to sell it. They go, yeah, medallion dropped to $500K, right? So now my dad, because he thinks he's a fucking know-it-all, he goes, all right, I'll just wait until it goes back up. The market dipped or whatever, right? And then he leases his medallion to a cab company. So then they just pay him in installments. Like, you know, you still see yellow cabs. Most of them are not self-employed taxi drivers. They belong to like a fleet company that has a bunch of cabs.
Yeah, like his pops caught some shit. Be like getting that shit with 50 bands. Like that was the littest shit in the
that
world.
was the craziest come up 30
Ever.
years later.
My pops used to come home, not to cut you, come and brag about that. Fucking Vlad, he owns his medallion. He's a millionaire. He's fucking
Yeah, because that was the idea that when you get out, when you retire, you're that's it. That's your pension. You're good to go. You sell your medallion. He didn't want to sell it. He signed a contract with a leasing company. They send him monthly checks, but they're like $1,200. It's not a lot, right? Because they can't get that much business. The yellow cabs are dead, right?
Yeah.
So his medallion, I don't even know what the price of his medallion is now,
It's
but
like $5
It's
now.
dropped. Yeah, it's $5 in a bag of goldfish.
Bag of gold.
But bro,
A
it's
free meal at Applebee's.
and that's his story. You know what I'm saying? He missed out on that. And had he come to me, but since he's a know-it-all, he didn't come to me. I'd have told him. I said, "Yo, Dad, it's not sell it for 500 bands because it is not coming. It's not going to dip back
Not
up.
with Uber out and shit
Yeah.
like that. Like that's dead.
Yeah, it's dead.
that
It's not
Uber
gonna.
shit
That's not
fucks
gonna
it
happen.
up.
So I mean, he fucking missed out, bro. And if his anger wasn't pitched at a high level before, it's 10 times
Yeah, it's
higher
even
now.
crazier now.
Yeah, his anger's on 100.
Yo, but
You want me to be your kid's role model.